What is up, everybody? Crazy times for sure. And I just want to start off by saying I'm sorry we haven't done these podcasts in about 6 weeks now, was the last time we launched one. But I think as a business owner, when a crisis hits, sometimes certain things need to move to the forefront and other things need to move to the back burner. And given what has gone on and what has transpired, which everyone is aware of as the COVID-19 crisis for people in the wedding industry, I think we can all agree that it is a time to double down and focus in on what needed to be focused in on. And for us, that was accommodating our clients, helping to manage the crisis for my staff, which is paramount, and of course, providing the level of customer service that we are accustomed to our clients. And given the fact that we are now rescheduling our entire book of business practically for the year, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for your support. I want to thank you for the messages received. And I also want to apologize that we weren't able to continue doing this. As of now, I'll be doing a little bit of a shorter snippet, bringing you some insight as to what I'm seeing and some strategies that we've put in place to really help our business navigate these waters. This is unprecedented, guys. This has never been seen before. There has never been a time in our life ever that we have seen something like this. The last thing comparably would be the Great Depression, '08 and '09. The economic recession does not even compare to what has happened. The economy and government never shut down. Business never shut down. We were still able to conduct business. Granted, it was much more challenging. Post September 11th, we were shut down for a few weeks, but there was a huge sentiment of movement out of September 11th, as well as a booming economy. So we're going to be faced with some serious obstacles here. So to fill you in on where we're at and what we're doing, I think first and foremost, you have to look at what you can control. That's the number one thing right now. And what you can control is your reaction to what is happening to you, and you can use that to empower you. So you can either sit home, watch Netflix, eat Cheetos all day, or you can get your ass off your sofa and you can work. You can work like you normally would. You can work harder. You can work within the boundaries of 9 to 5. You can set those parameters. The one thing we do have control over is how we react to the circumstances that are presented to us. We do not have control as to when we go back to business. We do not have control on so many aspects of our life. What we do and are able to control is how we respond to what is happening to us. So that being said, what can you do on a daily basis? Only you know that. Only you can answer that question. For me, it's waking up every morning, making sure that I have a schedule to follow, that there's normalcy to my life, that there's a program in place. And what does that look like these days? Well, it looks like first and foremost, making sure all my clients' emails are responded to, that we're able to help them navigate the choppy waters right now. Secondarily, it's looking for ways to create revenue. I think right now, as a society, yes, we are in the middle, and we're looking at this very narrow-minded right now. We're looking at it from a micro perspective, and we need to look at the bigger picture, the bigger macro, and we need to step back and look at the entire picture. And what does that look like? It looks like this is going to end someday. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might be 2 years from now. It doesn't matter. We need to have that infrastructure in place. We can't stop doing business. We can't sit on our sofas depressed eating Netflix and Cheetos. That's not going to provide anything for us down the road. The bottom line is we need to, even though we can't be quote unquote out there in society right now, we need to be out there in certain ways. We need to make sure our connections stay active. We need to be supportive, willing, and able to help others. Those are all things that are going to pay dividends. I think Mark Cuban said it best. The way companies handle this crisis right now, the way they react will define their future. And I can feel completely 100% with his sentiment. If you step up to the plate, if you hit it out of the box, if you provide excellent customer service, people are going to remember that. Now, at the bottom, at the end of the day, businesses are going to fail. That is a natural evolution in any cycle. But what can you do to put your business ahead of those? What can you do to make sure that it's there tomorrow? And again, those are questions that you need to ask yourself and that you're going to help and you're going to need to find the answer to, right? And I think it's imperative that you start asking those questions now. We're so focused in on today, we're not looking at tomorrow, we're not looking at next year. So you need to come up with a plan, and that plan needs to be longer than a month. It needs to look at 1 year, 2 year, 5 year. So for me, what I've done personally is I've actually written down actionable steps that I can do on a daily given basis to make sure that my business is prosperous, that I'm financially okay, that I'm able to provide for my team, for my family, that I am able to have a life once this is over, and make sure that I'm in a better position today than I am tomorrow. And with that comes drastic measures needs to be taken, guys. If the economy takes a downturn when we reopen, a drastic downturn, to the point where we are in a depression or an incredible recession, the first thing that we have control over is how much money we're spending. All right. And that is the number two, right? So number one is we can change our outlook. We can change our perspective. Number two is, what do we have control over? Well, we have control over how much money we spend. Now, for everyone, that's going to be different. If you're a family of four, your expenses are going to be substantially higher than if you're in my place where you only have to support one person. So I'm going to start with that. If you are single and you have no responsibilities for other human lives right now other than your workers, you need to immediately scale back your lifestyle if you have not already. And what does that look like? I think as a society, we've gotten very fancy. We've expanded our reach. We've lived amazing. And when I say reach, reach is in what we're able to afford to spend on a monthly basis. We need to curtail all that. For me, it was moving out of the New York City, right? Number one. And I know many people have done that, more need to do that. The rents were ridiculous. I'm able to now live 45 minutes outside the city, still completely accessible by car or by train if that does open up. But my overhead is 80% less than it was per month just from that move on my cost of living. Now, for those of you who are not single, obviously that's going to look very different. But for those of you who are, you need to decrease your overall household footprint. I think another great method to do is actually put your credit card on pause. So what I did was I stopped my Amex. I said freeze all payments. What happened was I started getting emails. Payment has been denied. Well, guess what? I don't need Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Showtime, HBO, right? And as those things start to add up at $12, $15 per month, times 10 different prescriptions is $1,500, times 12 months is $1,800. Well, I only need one or two of them. So now I've decreased my financial footprint out there by $1,500 by canceling everything but Netflix and Amazon. Then Showtime emails me. We have a free 1 month. I'll sign up and get that 1 month for free. What I'm doing is literally calculating every single expense, every single dollar, and now monitoring that, because every dollar saved is a dollar earned. The economy is, in my opinion, again, and in the opinion of many people way more brilliant than me, is not going to rebound the way we think it is. We are going to be in a sustained recession. And if that's the case, we need to minimize our blueprint. Now, if I'm wrong and all these other brilliant people are wrong, no worries, by the way, guys, because you will have decreased your blueprint, in which case you will be earning more money and able to keep more money of what you earn should the economy rebound. But the bottom line is we need to pretend like it's not going to. We need to pretend that things are going to get worse before they get better, right? Let's use that strategy. Within doing that, we will help save every single dollar, which we can now, that's $1 saved is $1 less you need to earn, okay? That's the short of it. And it's a miracle. It's a miraculous how many things you can save on. Another example, I call State Farm. Sir, we're giving 15% off to start. I'm sorry, Geico. Oh, no problem. How many miles are you driving a year now? I said, this year I might not drive more than 2,000 miles. Sir, we can give you back another $500 on your insurance premiums for the year just because of that. So on top of the 15%, I got another $500 off. That $500 works out to $40 a month. All of a sudden, we're making headway here. By subscriptions, $1,200. Car insurance, $500 less. That's $1,700 post-taxable income. So now when you extrapolate that, and let's say you're paying 30% tax, you're now at $2,400. So now you've saved $2,400. Imagine if you do that to every single aspect of your life. Okay, and I think personally, those are the type of things that are going to need to be done in order for you to have a successful, prosperous business going forward. I think the old way of doing business is done in the sense of having a fancy studio. Do we need these absolutely gorgeous showrooms? Probably not. And I think a lot of businesses are going to start to see that. Retail shops are going to go online. Fancy showrooms, virtual meetings. People are going to now become comfortable. Millennials and Gen Zers were headed there anyway. This was the catalyst, the big push that they needed to head that way. Look at the research. These aren't my opinions. These are factual items. Start Googling it. You can see what is going on out there. Now, that being said, if you don't need the fancy showroom, maybe you can't afford it, maybe you just don't need it. But let me give you an example. If you have a showroom in New York City, let's call it $5,000 a month. That's just for the space. That's $60,000 a year. You haven't met clients there in 2 months. It's fair to say in New York City, we're going to be affected very differently than we are in the rest of the world. As you extrapolate that out, right? Now you have overhead, rent, electric, transportation, lunch bills, right? All of a sudden, that $60,000 really actually nets out to $100,000 a year off your bottom line for your business. Now, what if you do a shared space, which costs you $500 to $1,000 a month? You're already down to $12,000 now versus $60,000. That's $48,000 per year saved. And you do all your Zoom meetings. But for those small meetings that you need to have, in-person meetings, whatever it may be, you have a small space for those. Again, these are the strategies that are going to provide prosperous businesses and create prosperous businesses going forward. Unfortunately, I feel that people who do not make these drastic cuts, and again, this is really going to be prefaced by where you are in the country. I think certain states are going to recover better than others. I think New York, New Jersey, California, because of the way we were hit and because of our population densities, are going to be drastically impacted above and beyond what other states are. So again, we really need to consider where we are, right? And not just where we are in terms of physically, but where we are mentally. So we talked about that with number one, right? We can only control what our reaction is to what is happening right now. We have no control over the larger picture. But we can also control not just how we respond to it, but what actionable steps we take, what kind of planning we put forward for the next 2 years. Number two, we can control our expenses, right? And these are two major things. And these are the first two of 5 that I'm going to run through for today. I'm going to leave you with those 2, and I will be back to you later this week with the other 3. And for right now, we're going to be doing these just me, so I hope you enjoy them. If there's anything you want me to cover, if there's any insight I can offer you, please let me know. I felt the need to reach out to our community. I want to thank you guys for your support. I want to apologize for the not great video quality and audio quality. Please excuse the wind. I'm going to try and bring you as much value. This is my way of giving back. I know so many people are hurting right now. I hear stories. I get phone calls every day. I hear people crying. I spoke to somebody last week. They want to kill themselves. This is serious, guys. People are losing businesses that were equivalent to family members. They've put their life, blood, sweat, and tears into these things. And this just isn't in the event business. I have friends in the restaurant business, friends who own body shops. It's affecting all of us, and it's affecting all of us differently. So whatever I can do, whatever small portion I can put out there in the world, hopefully somebody listens to this. Hopefully somebody takes those actionable steps. Hopefully somebody is in a better position than today, than they a week from now than they are today, and that hopefully changes their life. That's my goal with this. I want to thank you guys. I hope that you bring this brings you value. Please feel free to share it. You can follow us on Anthony Vasquez Workshops. I want to wish everyone, please be safe, be well. Please follow the guidelines that are being put out there. There for a reason. And feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or through my website. If there's any way I can assist you, if there's any insight I can give you on your business, there is no charge for this, guys. This is just something I'm doing in my way of giving back to the community, to the world, to my community as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, because the world has given me so much. I am so fortunate to be where I am today. I'm grateful. And I'm even grateful that this is going on. That's the way I have to look at it. I have to say to myself, hey, I am grateful for the challenges the world's putting out there for me today. It's making me better. It's making me smarter. It's making me sharper, wiser, more practical, more prudent. There's so many gifts that are within this. I'm blessed to not have had my family impacted by this. All my loved ones are safe and sound. So I'm wishing you guys all the best. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be back with you guys later.